Amar, 2017, directed by Esteban Crespo, is a Spanish romantic drama that explores the intensity and fragility of first love. The film centers on Laura and Carlos, two teenagers who experience a passionate and consuming relationship that feels absolute and eternal to them. From the beginning, the movie establishes a raw, intimate tone, portraying young love as something beautiful but also dangerously overwhelming. Rather than romanticizing love in a fairy tale way, Amar presents it as emotional, physical, and deeply confusing. Laura is a sensitive and introspective young woman who approaches love with hope and vulnerability. She dreams of emotional connection and believes deeply in the idea of sharing everything with someone she loves. Carlos, on the other hand, is more impulsive, dominant, and emotionally immature. While he is intensely attracted to Laura, his understanding of love is possessive rather than nurturing. Their contrasting personalities create a powerful attraction, but their relationship quickly becomes intense, driven by physical desire and emotional dependency. Laura and Carlos spend nearly all their time together, isolating themselves from friends, family, and the outside world. This exclusivity initially feels romantic, as if they have created their own universe. However, as time passes, this emotional enclosure begins to feel suffocating, especially for Laura, who starts to sense that love should not erase one's identity. Carlos's behavior gradually becomes controlling and insecure. He struggles with jealousy and demands constant reassurance from Laura, interpreting love as ownership rather than partnership. His inability to communicate his fears maturely causes tension, and he often reacts with anger or silence. The film subtly shows how emotional manipulation can hide behind passion, especially in young relationships where boundaries are still undefined. Laura begins to grow emotionally, questioning the nature of her relationship and her own desires. She starts to realize that love should allow freedom, growth, and individuality. As she matures, she feels increasingly constrained by Carlos's expectations and emotional volatility. This internal conflict marks Laura's transition from naive romanticism to emotional self-awareness. The film also explores the imbalance of power between the two lovers. Carlos's need for control clashes with Laura's emerging independence, creating emotional instability. Their love turns from something mutual into something uneven, where Laura gives more understanding and emotional labor while Carlos reacts with frustration. This imbalance highlights how love, when driven by insecurity, can slowly become destructive. As cracks deepen in their relationship, moments of tenderness are overshadowed by emotional distance and misunderstandings. Laura attempts to communicate and redefine their bond, but Carlos resists change, clinging to the intensity of their early passion. The film shows how young lovers often confuse intensity with love, failing to recognize when affection turns into emotional harm. The breaking point arrives when Laura accepts that love should not cost her emotional well-being. She understands that staying in a relationship fueled by fear, jealousy, and dependency will only limit her growth. This realization is painful, as first love often feels irreplaceable, but it is also empowering. Laura's emotional evolution becomes the heart of the film's message. Carlos, unable to adapt or reflect, is left facing the consequences of his emotional immaturity. His struggle highlights how love requires emotional responsibility, not just desire. The film does not portray him as a villain, but rather as a young person incapable of understanding love beyond possession. This realistic portrayal makes the story feel authentic and deeply human. Amar ultimately serves as a poignant reflection on first love, its beauty, intensity, and inevitable lessons. The film emphasizes that loving someone does not mean losing oneself, and that emotional growth often comes through heartbreak. By focusing on vulnerability, imbalance, and self-discovery, Amar delivers a powerful message about learning when to hold on and when to let go, making it a deeply resonant coming-of-age love story.